Everyone, welcome back to episode 14. Jungkook didn't waste a second. His hand grabbed me, pulling me inside, and before I could even say hello, his mouth was on mine. It was overwhelming and intense, stealing what little composure I had left. Did you do research? I asked, breathless, when he finally let me come up for air. Jungkook, his lips brushed mine as he smiled forward. I am confident with my skills. Well, do you at least have it? I asked the most important question. Jungkook, oh, I have it, he said, pressing his hips against mine in a way that left nothing but to the imagination. I am glad you do, but that's not what I meant. I snapped, showing him back slightly. JK, he frowned, his expression genuinely confused. Jungkook, what do you mean? Seriously, I stared at him judgingly. Jungkook, did I do something wrong? What's the problem? Taehyung, the fact that you didn't even know what I'm talking about sums it all. I bit my lips and started to get fresh. I don't think we are ready for this. Jungkook, wait, what? Come on, talk to me. What's going on? You didn't even bother to prepare. You probably spent the whole day watching TV while I cut myself off, shaking my head in frustration. You know what? Forget it. I'm going back to my room. Feel free to handle things yourself. I turned to leave, but his hand reached out, wrapping around my wrist and stopping me in my track. Jungkook, hey. His voice softened more investigator now. What is it really about? I said something and refused to meet his gaze and didn't go. I let out a big, long, defeated sigh. I don't know. I feel like I am putting all the efforts here and you are acting like this is just another day. Jungkook, he lifted his head, genuinely confused. And how is it a bad thing? Because it's not just another day. I snapped the words spilling out before I could stop them. This is different from me, okay? For me, okay? And why am I the only one nervous about it? Jungkook, there is really nothing to be nervous about, he said, smoothly, which only made I am now I'm pissed. Once I got to my room, I slammed my door behind me and threw myself on the bed. I pulled my hair and lie on the mattress face down. Why couldn't he just take this seriously? Why did I have to act like it's nothing? And why am I the only person affected here? This is something I considered a big step. Why can't he understand that? But as the minutes passed, my anger slowly began to fade. Maybe I had overreacted. Maybe Jungkook didn't need to prepare. I did. For some people, it's just natural. Maybe he is right. Some people just go with the flow without overthinking. Still, it didn't make feel any better, and yet I couldn't stop thinking about Jungkook. Damn it, I am still walked up, still wanting Jungkook, and it pissed me off. Then him made the decision and worked up the courage and go to back to apologize. However, I opened the door and there Jungkook was hand raised mid-air, about to knock. Jungkook, hi, he said awkwardly with a CPS smile. Hi, I said back, trying my best to maintain a natural face. Jungkook rubbed the back of his neck, looking nervous. Jungkook, you are right, he admitted. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel like it wasn't important. This is special. Jungkook apologized, catched me off guard. Just like that, my anger melted away. A little voice inside me wanted Jungkook to grow. Somehow, he said all the right words, Jungkook. And for the record, he added, pulling something from behind his back. I did my research too. He held up a pack of photos and a small bottle of the very things I have been hoping he would have earlier. Jungkook leaned closer. Jungkook, don't worry, I will be gentle. Jungkook whispered softly, his breath warm against my ear. Damn it, why did that make me feel so much better? My restraint already hanging by a thread, snapping entirely. They just shut up and kiss me, I demanded shamelessly, and Jungkook did. That this time I had no hesitation. This time I was ready. Jungkook kissed me softly. At first his lips entered but firm, and then it deepened. A kiss that was both tender and full of longing. It was the kind of kiss that made my chest ache and my heart race, something I hadn't felt in a long time. His hands moved slowly, brushing against my side, and I could feel the warmth of his touch even through my hair. When he pulled it over my head, I shivered, not from cold, but from the way his eyes lingered on mine. I followed his head, tugging his shirt off, and my breath catch. When I saw him, he was all lean muscles and quite strength. His body was a testament to the discipline he carried in everything Jungkook did. My fingers tracked his line of the chest, and I felt him tense slightly under my touch. Jungkook smiled a small knowing smirk, and I realized he was just as nervous as I was. Jungkook gently guided me back onto the bed. His weight pressed me down on the way that left comforting, not overwhelming. His lips moved from mine to my neck. Each kiss left a trail of warmth that made my skin tingle. When the mouth brushed against my collarbone, I let out a sigh, softest sigh, unable to hold it back. Jungkook, you are so beautiful, his whisper, his voice low and rough. I wanted this for a long time. Wanted you. His words surprised me, but then also made my chest tighten in a best way. My hands moved over his shoulder, down his back, feeling the strength and warmth of him. It was different from anything I had ever known before, but instead of feeling unsure, it was Look, once we do this, said softly, you are stuck with me, no going back. It wasn't a threat, it was a promise, and I believe Jungkook. I nodded, my heart pounding, and he kissed me again, slow and deep, like he was trying to memorize the feeling of me. His hand slid under the wristband of my sweatpant, and I froze for a second. My breath catches, but his touch was careful, patient, and when he felt me respond, he smiled against my lips. Jungkook, it's okay, he murmured. I have got you. I covered my face with my arm, embarrassed, but Jungkook gently pulled it away. His eyes locked with mine. Jungkook, don't hide from me, he said, his voice steady. I wanted to see you, all of you. His words made my chest ache in a way I couldn't explain. Jungkook kissed me again, his lips moving down my neck, my chest, and lower until he reached the wristband of my sweatpant, and he tugged them down slowly, his eyes never leaving mine, and I felt my face flushed as he looked at me. Jungkook, you're perfect, he said, his voice soft but sure. Let me take care of you. Before I could respond, his mouth was on mine, and I gasped, my hands flying in his hair. The sensation was overwhelming, and I felt myself unraveling under his touch. My breath came in short, shaky, brusted, and I couldn't stop the sounds that escaped my lips. Hey, Jungkook, I managed to say, my voice trembling. I can't, didn't stop. His hands holding me steady, and I fell apart when it was over. I lay there, trembling, my chest rising and falling, and I tried to catch my breath. Jungkook kissed my his lips softer against my skin. Jungkook, you okay? He asked. His voice gentle, and I nodded, still trying to process what just happened. Jungkook smiled, brushing a strand of hair from my face, and then reached for the bottle of moisturizer on the nightstand. My heart started to race again, but he noticed the pause. Jungkook, we don't have to, he said quickly, only if you are ready. I took a deep breath, then nodded again. I'm ready. Jungkook kissed me, slow and reassuring, before making me ready with care. It was strange at first, but it took me this time making sure I was comfortable before moving forward. Then he finally did it. I gasped. The sensation Jungkook, tell me if it's too much, he said softly. I will stop. I nodded, and he began to. The discomfort faded, replaced by a warmth that spread through me. With every moment, Jungkook leaned down, kissing me again. I could feel the tension in his body and the way he was holding himself back to make sure I was okay. Jungkook, you feel amazing, he murmured. Against my lips, his words made my chest tighten, and I wrapped my arm around him, pulling him closer. The rhythm of the moment changed, and I gasped as he that is sent a spark through me. Jungkook noticed and smiled. He got more excited and did it fast, just enough to push me over. When I was over, Jungkook collapsed beside me, pulling me into his arm. My head rested on his chest, and I could hear his heartbeat steady and strong. Jungkook kissed the top of my head, and fingers tracking lazy pattern on my back. Jungkook, you are mine now, he said softly, voice filled with something, and I couldn't quite name. And I'm not letting you go. I closed my eyes, exhausted, washing over me. And the first time him, I believed him. The sunlight peeked through the curtains, gently waking me up. My body felt sore, but it was a good kind of edge, one that made me smile as the memory of last night floated back. Jungkook was still asleep beside me, his arm draped over my waist, his breathing slow and steady. For a moment, I just watched him and his peaceful face, his dark lashes resting against his cheeks, the faint smile on his lips. Jungkook looked so calm, so happy that it almost made me forget. Carefully, I slipped out from the under his arm, trying not to wake Jungkook. My feet touched the cold floor, and I quickly pulled my sweatpants before heading to the kitchen. The house was quiet, the kind of silence that felt rare in a place as big as Jeon mentioned. I needed water. My throat was dry. As I finally filled a glass of at the sink, I noticed the blinking light on the landline. A missed call. Curious, I pressed the button, and a robotic voice announced a message. Mr. Jeon's voice filled the room. Taehyung, we are. We will be home by noon. Make sure everything is in order. My stomach dropped at noon. That was barely 4 hours away. I glanced at the clock, panic rising in my chest. Jungkook's parents couldn't find him in my room. It would arise too many questions I wasn't ready to answer. Without thinking, I rushed back to my room and slammed the door open, startling Jungkook awake. Jungkook googly. What's going on? Taehyung panicked. Your parents, they are coming home early. They will be here in few hours. Jungkook sat up and the sheets falling on to his waist, his hair messy and his eyes still heavy with sleep. Jungkook calmly and Taehyung hissing, and they can't find you here. Do you have any idea what they would think? What they would say? His brows frowned and he pressed his lips into a thin line. Jungkook, we are adults. Why do you have to hide this thing firmly? Because it's not just about us. You are their son. I am their employer. Do you even realize how would this look? He stood, closing the gap between us, and held my face in his hands, forcing me to meet his gaze. Jungkook softly, I am not ashamed of this, of us. Taehyung shakingly, I know you are not, but we need to be smart about this, please. Jungkook, just go back to your room for now. We will talk later. For a moment, he didn't move, his thumb brushing over my cheek, and he searched my eyes. Finally, he sighed. His shoulder is sagging in defeat. Jungkook, fine, but you are not hiding forever. You will have to face them eventually. Taehyung revealed, I know, thank you. He leaned in, pressing a soft kiss to my forehead before pulling away. To be continued. Drag it more, and soon it will be going to end, but there is a bit of time. Hope you will enjoy it. Till then, take care, bye bye.